Hashtag follow the conversation. Episode 35 for the culture my people.com. My name's Michael. This here's my co-host Drewby. Hey Drewby, say hi.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody? hashtag follow the conversation, episode 35.
What the heck? Man, you really committed there.
Yep. It wasn't me talking. It was Bob Marley talking.
It was the drugs.
Just kidding. I haven't actually opened this bottle yet, but I will. Need to mellow out. How's it going, man?
Doesn't actually mellow you out though. Like it just like you think you're mellowed out, but it doesn't do anything.
You don't know. It says on the bottle, not for pregnant women or children.
What does that mean?
It says do not mix with alcohol, not intended for children or nursing or pregnant women. Persons with medical conditions or those taking prescription meds should see a physician before consuming this product. So there's something in here. I don't know what it is.
I want to see that doctor's appointment where a person comes in and says, "Hey, I would like to drink this, a Bob Marley tea concoction. Can I do this?" And the doctor's like, "That's got to be some weird call." Like
Marley's mellow mood. Excuse me. I would really like to drink some black peach raspberry passion fruit tea. Decaffeinated relaxation drink.
For the Rastafarian and all of us.
Yeah. For the I and all of us.
That's their god, isn't it? Isn't that what they like?
It's like it's
their deity.
God's part of all of us.
We are all like, okay. So it's like a Buddhist, like
Pantheist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How's the trip to the grocery store? You just got back.
I wasn't at the grocery store. Someone else was at the grocery store. I was just talking to this other person who was at the grocery store. I didn't go to the grocery store.
Oh, you were just driving slowly.
I should probably go to the grocery store though. I do need water. I did go the other day. I got my pizza rolls. So any trip to the grocery store where you leave with pizza rolls is a good trip to the grocery store.
That's what they say.
That's what the two other people.
There's a Reddit forum all about it.
Oh, is there?
// grocery haul videos.
Oh, it's a grocery haul video about pizza rolls?
I'm sure there has to. I mean, you could make one. We haven't gotten into the grocery. Maybe that's what we need to get this site really going. We need to join the grocery haul scene. For those of you that don't know, there are people on YouTube that just like document the groceries that they buy every week, and they upload these videos to YouTube and show you. It's like an unboxing video for their groceries.
There is a Reddit thread for pizza rolls.
Told you.
It's an Imgur
daily.
It's an Imgur for pizza rolls. What? Oh, this isn't the same thing. They're showing you how to make your own homemade pizza rolls.
That actually sounds like a really good idea, and I think they'd be way better for you, even if you deep fry them. Like anything that you here's a rule. For the most part, anything that you make yourself is better than anything that comes in a package.
Okay.
So just saying.
Here's this. I've got this. I'll share it out. This is the
Imgur cheese and crescent rolls
and Pillsbury crescent rolls. Yes. And then you just kind of the way you set it all up. You take the pepperoni, you put it on top of the crescent rolls and pizza slices, and then you put a cheese stick on top of that. Then you just roll it up and cook it. You should.
Those look good, but they also don't look like pizza rolls.
They're not, but they are.
I mean, they're literally pizza rolled, but they are not what I would consider to be a pizza roll.
They are not Totino's pizza rolls. Totino's?
Good old Tostino. Tostino, my man.
Is it Tostino? That doesn't sound right. Tostino.
I don't know. Tostino.
It's Totino.
I've been throwing that S in there for years. I've been throwing S's in there for years.
Totino's pizza rolls with the ravioli.
How racist can we get this episode? You want to see?
I don't know. I think that was better than when I attempted my Scottish accent. Like that was pretty good comparatively.
I mean, yes. I'm not going to argue that with you.
That was so good.
Because that accent was one of the worst things we've had on the show, and we've done a relationship quiz together.
We did do that. Yeah, that accent was great. Man, taking us back. You're going back to the relationship quiz. That was like a year ago, man.
Was it? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I feel like we haven't been doing this podcast for a full year. I guess we took like December off.
Yeah. Let me see if I can use the search engine on our new website for relationship. What do you think comes up?
I mean, it would have to be in the title. I don't think it's in the title.
Sorry, but nothing matched your search terms. Please try again with some different keywords.
It would I don't think it actually matches anything we've ever put on the site. Like, if anything, we called it like a drift compatibility test. Maybe that's in the show notes. I don't know.
Drift.
Either way.
Oh, yeah. Episode 9 of hashtag follow the conversation. Titled, Drewby and I are 71% drift compatible.
It's true.
Oh, man. Folks, if you...
Should we go over our pet peeves with each other right now?
July 10th, 2014. So almost a year ago, man. Almost.
Are we willing to share our pet peeves?
What pet peeve would you like to share with me, Michael?
Do I get to pick only one?
Yes. Yes. And it has to be something that I already know about.
That you already know about?
Yes, I know. For example, I know that you hate it when I yawn and sing at the same time. I know that about you.
I don't hate that. That doesn't bother me as much as like I value you knowing that makes you look kind of doofy. That was the thing I was saying today. Oh. It doesn't necessarily bother me as much as I want your self-respect preserved.
Do you really? Or do you even care about my self-respect?
I care about your self. The only person I want degrading your self-respect, Drewby, is me. It's like a good sibling relationship. You don't want anybody making fun of your brothers and sisters, but you.
You're the older brother I never had, Michael.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea to broach personal relationship issues live on the internet.
Should we not psychoanalyze our relationship with each other? Not go back to that dark place where we tested our drift compatibility? But
no, that was good.
Remain true.
I'm just saying, I don't think you want me to start naming pet peeves live on the internet.
I said only one, but
sorry, pet peeve.
Move on. Peeve, singular. We shall move on.
So what's your peeve you got with me? Peeve for peeve.
I would say maybe it's more of an annoyance. I don't know. I've learned to tolerate it, but you are not the cleanest dude I know. You're kind of a slob. So
it's true. I'm the definition of a functioning slob addict. Like, I live in the real world. I can exist. I keep my desk clean-ish at work. I'm able to like coexist with other people, but I'm also a very dirty person.
Is there such a thing as a functioning slob? Like, does that just mean you're good at being a slob? Or like, if you're a slob to society, by definition, you're kind of not a functioning individual?
I mean, I was going to make like a callback to the term like functioning addict. Like, there are people that are addicted to crack cocaine, but they can like have a job and exist in the real world, and it doesn't necessarily ruin their life right away.
Right away.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. There are people that have probably been functioning addicts for years and you wouldn't know.
Oh, what is that?
As long as you don't get too high on your own supply.
Oh.
New drug?
It's a slow change. Is that Third Day song?
It's a slow fade.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Black and white turns to gray and whatever. I saw them in concert with Stephen Curtis Chapman.
I think I did too. I think we were at the same concert.
Yeah. Yeah, but not together.
No,
We don't go to concerts together.
we were separate.
Yeah. So, speaking of random things, you rediscovered the Newsboys, or you were listening to them today.
Dude, I came back from a long drive today at work, and we were talking for a little bit, and I heard you listening to some old classic music. One of the songs you were listening to a mashup of DC Talk's Colored People with Newsboys' Entertaining Angels. I tried to say that in an Australian accent for some reason. And so it kind of made me think, and my train of thought goes, we were talking, and I talked about Thrive a little bit. So I went back and started listening to Newsboys' Thrive on Spotify today. And took me back a little bit. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like some old like emotions of like that I kind of resurfaced, if you will.
Did you weep openly? Did you weep openly at work?
No, Michael, I was not weeping openly. I'm just sobbing at my desk, like, oh no.
Oh, so here's a funny image. So Sunday during Mother's Day, my brother and I were having a conversation, and we were talking about various aspects of pregnancy and being pregnant, whatever.
Okay.
And we happened to know somebody that was so hungry, or at least their perception was that they were so hungry that they were crying. They were like, actually, there were tears being shed because the person was this hungry. And my brother and I were trying to imagine what would it be like if like we reached that point where like I'm just laying in the floor, curled up, and just like weeping openly, just like I need food. I can't handle this. Just like it would be pretty pathetic. But like, girls can get away with a lot of weird stuff when they're pregnant. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You don't want to broach that subject?
Oh, let's not go there, man. Let's slow fade away from that topic.
Should we be souls on fire and talk about what we actually have on our podcast notes list?
Let's go through. You came up with this idea that we're going to try and be structured and organized on a podcast. And I question why, sir. Why?
We basically have been anyway. We've just been talking about things for the last... We don't have to follow this list. This is just a suggested topic.
Our podcasts continue to evolve into different things. Like, we go from organized, and then we go into, like, games and not organized. And then we're like, hey, let's just divide these into 2 podcasts. So we do one about games, and then we do one about just nothing, and just a chance for us to goof off. And then it morphs from goofing off and having a good time, a genuinely good time, back into order and structure. From chaos.
Do you want me to delete these podcast notes live? I'll delete these podcast notes live. I'm doing it.
I will crush your soul, man.
Screw this note.
Hey! Make a copy! Recovered.
Boom. The docs are gone. Too late. I don't have podcast notes. I just trashed them.
Yeah, you did. Because it said file is... Because it popped up on my screen. File is in owner's trash. And so I made a copy.
So what do you want to talk about, man? I just deleted the notes. I remember what's on the notes, so I can talk about what I want to.
Dude, you are talking about anarchy and chaos. Just throw the rule book completely out the window.
I brought a gun to this podcast. See this? I shot the camera earlier.
You can't. Didn't your mom never tell you to bring a gun to a podcast?
Yep. That's what she said.
That's exactly how she said it, too.
She looked me in the eye when I was 5 years old, and she said, if there's anything that I want you to remember in your entire life, it's don't ever bring a gun to a podcast studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's it going? You watching TV this week? That's how we usually start off.
Well,
are you laughing because that's how we usually start off? Or are you laughing because
I might be a little.
Of course, you watch TV this week.
No, it's me. I'm kind of a little in shock that you just kind of.
I think you were taking too much comfort in the fact that we used to have podcast notes, and you're like, "Oh, okay, like I can totally just show up to the show and I'll just talk about what's on the notes." And I deleted the note. You don't know how to react. I'm a slob.
pull the rug out
I throw this away. I just took these podcast notes and I threw them on the ground, and they're sitting beside you, and you don't know what to do about it.
You pulled the rug out from under my ankles.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what the people say.
TV. You bring up TV. Yes,
I do.
This is the end of TV seasons. This is the end of an era. Another era.
Does this mean you're not going to watch any TV during the summer?
That is not true. But all of my regular shows are going to be gone. So tonight, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season finale, done, over. Tomorrow night, Arrow season finale, done, over. Last week, Forever, done, over. Next week, Arrow, Flash.
What the heck is Forever? We've never talked about it.
We've talked about it. You just don't remember because I don't
Forever?
include it in my normal shows. All right. I will give you the cliff notes, if you will, to Forever. Forever is a show about a dude who was shot in the 1800s, 1700s, and he discovered that after he got shot, he came back to life in a body of water, and I believe he was, and so, from then he discovered that he was quote unquote immortal. Every time he gets shot or every time he dies, he appears in a nearby body of water, completely naked, but he cannot die. His body just disappears.
I now remember this. You talked about this one time. Are you still watching the show?
I finished. I was watching it. I continued to watch it. I didn't necessarily watch it every week. It wasn't on every week, but like even when like a new episode comes. How many shows
do you watch? How many current shows do you watch?
All right, let me here. The easiest way is to pull up my Hulu because that's how I follow. So let me switch over to my Hulu, and I will give you kind of the. I think it's just those four that I continue that I watch mainly.
I'll explain now that I think I watch two shows that current because I watch the Goldbergs and I watch the Duggars. 19 Kids Accounting.
Okay. Forever I watch faithfully. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watch. I did watch Agent Carter faithfully. Although that was like a little 8-episode thing, and that one's over. I was watching Gotham, but I decided to stop watching that because I just didn't care about it. The Flash and Arrow. I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine on here, but I am behind on that show, so I don't know if you necessarily count that as me keeping current. But those four are kind of the ones I keep current on mostly. But I've just kind of discovered Forever. It was like, oh, I wonder what this is or whatever. And it was well into the TV season. I think like 5 episodes in. And so I watched like the first episode where I was like, oh, I kind of like this. This is cool. And so can you watch it? He's like a British dude. Do you remember? Did you see the Fantastic Four movie? Like the 2000s Fantastic Four movie? The actor who played Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic in that show is that main actor in Forever. And he's just like a British dude who's a medical examiner and he solves crimes. It's like, it's got all the tropes of like Sherlock, who's just like the super observant, detailed guy, where but he's just really knowledgeable about history. So I mean, it's a different angle, but it's basically the exact same thing. But it's just
I prefer the drug angle of Sherlock.
He's not. He only gets drugged like in 1 episode, I think, of Sherlock.
Yeah, but he's struggling with addiction. Like he's off addiction. That's one of the reasons he's so weird. I mean, one of the reasons.
Did I miss that complete plot point of that? Like you're talking BBC
it's just early on, and I think it's just early on they mention it, and you forget about it.
Okay. I didn't
like. That's why when he shows up and he's in the drug den on the 3rd season, like Watson is mad at him because he thinks he's falling back into his old ways. Basically, it's a really common thing for people that are super smart to want to escape from their own brain, so they just get super high. That's why I like drugs so much.
Because you're a super smart person, you just want to escape.
Yeah, I just need to get out of my own brain.
So anyway,
way to free my soul.
So just quickly going back. So yeah, Forever I believe is over. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Arrow end this week, and then next week Flash is over, and then summer TV. I don't really have any plans, so maybe this will be an opportunity for me to kind of get away from keeping current on shows and take a break for a little bit before the next season starts.
Or you can just start watching lots of old TV shows and movies like you usually do.
That's what that's probably what I'm going to be doing, but I mean, I've still got all of Star Trek to get caught up on. I have to finish. I have like 4 more seasons, or 3 more seasons of Next Generation to finish. 9 seasons of DS9 and like 8 seasons of Voyager to like get through. So
There are 8 seasons of Star Trek Voyager.
I think so. It ran for a while. Star Trek Voyager.
You know what they say about fact checking stuff on podcasts while you're recording, right?
What do they say about fact checking?
It's a great idea. That's what they say.
I think it's like 6. It looks like 7 seasons. There are 7 seasons of Star Trek Voyager.
That's a lot of.
So I've never
Star
seen
Trek.
it. I haven't seen really any Voyager. So, but our audience probably largely doesn't even care. Oh, and there are 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine. So, but that show wasn't very. In my opinion, from what I understand, that show wasn't very good. But alas. So, but our audience doesn't care about Star Trek really. So I'm just going to. I'll stop talking about it.
I keep trying to look over at our notes, and they're not there. So, TV.
If you would like, I can give you.
No, I'm not bringing them back. I'm not bringing back the notes.
So yeah, that's yeah, that's kind of at the TV. I've some sides from Netflix stuff, but you've been watching something recently that you probably would like to give your opinion on. Do you know? Are you completely lost without the notes?
No, so I think here's what happens, right? So when you have notes, you try to do segues and you try to like force people to kind of talk about something further in the notes. But see, we took away the notes, so I have no idea of what you're referring to, Drewby, even though I totally don't. I'm winking for the camera for those that are on the audio feed.
You're missing out if you're not on the video feed. No. You've been watching Daredevil. You started watching that show a little bit.
I watched 2 episodes of Daredevil, and I say that the main draw for me watching Daredevil is now that Fulton from the Mighty Ducks is a main character in Daredevil. Which, regardless of anything that Drewby has told you about the show being dark and about superheroes, I think it's actually a sequel to D3. After he started in high school playing for the Mighty Ducks, he was unable to play college because, of course, college hockey is not a real thing. And so he became a lawyer, which is his only choice. He became
college
a lawyer,
hockey
and now he works
real right here.
So now he's a lawyer with Matt Murdock, and Matt Murdock fights crime. So I've seen 2 episodes. So right now my theory is that Matt Murdock fights crime, and he mostly hits on this blonde girl. That's the whole show, as far as I know it.
He doesn't really hit on her though.
He kind of hits on her. In the second episode. He gets her drunk and makes her laugh. That's generally considered hitting on her. Maybe that doesn't continue through the rest of the series, but I wouldn't know because I've seen 2 episodes.
No! Dang it! Oh.
Did you see a spoiler, Drewby?
No. Forever got canceled. There's not going to be a season 2.
You know why? Because nobody knows what that show is but you.
Oh, man! Oh well.
Oh, Community. That's running. Maybe I'll go back and watch
Community
those
get more
episodes.
seasons, but nobody was going to talk about Forever. How is that
Here's
even
the true
a thing?
dark secret of the internet. The true dark secret of the internet is somehow some people in the world still watch Community. I don't understand any of that.
CW is making a TV show called iZombie. How can Forever not get a second season when CW is doing iZombie?
People seem to like the show iZombie. It's about a girl who eats brains. She can see their memories and solve crimes. She's a zombie, not a normal person. Let me state that. Sorry, I missed that critical point when I was explaining the premise for that show.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Vampire Diaries. I mean, come on, please. Okay, Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries is like a show for.
Oh,
yeah, because Vampire Diaries is a sex show for ladies to watch.
Jane the Virgin.
Like it's not a real show.
How did this not?
I don't know what that is.
It's
Dude,
the show.
Here's the thing. Let me explain this to you. A lot of good shows get canceled and a lot of bad shows get renewed. That will happen forever.
I point you towards Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that was canceled. And isn't like The Bachelor on its 20th season or something?
The Bachelor got renewed for season 20.
I made that up, but okay. I was just throwing a number out there.
No, it got
That's
renewed.
a little sad.
Dancing with the Stars renewed for season 21. The Goldbergs is season 3.
What do you want? Goldbergs is funny. I know you don't necessarily care for it a ton, but that show is really funny. I like it. That is the only show I watch that is the actual only show I watch every single week, the Goldbergs.
My brother watches that show, and some of the stuff he tells me about it is like, oh, I should probably be watching that show. I find that show very funny. I actually watch it every single week. It's the only one. Was it you or my brother who shared with me about Optimus Prime? I think it was you, wasn't it?
Your brother told you about it.
Okay. In the 80s, apparently, like Optimus Prime died in like a Transformers movie, and I guess that like it just devastated Adam Goldberg, who is kind of the main character of the show. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll try to get back into Goldbergs. Let me see. I'm see if I can. I'll look.
Dude, maybe you should take a TV fast. Limit yourself to like 10 hours a week or something. That's the definition of a fast, right?
10 hours or less.
Like when I go on an eating fast, I can only eat for 10 hours or less a week, or more a week. No, less a week. Take it.
That might not actually be a bad idea.
I'm about to pop this Marley's Melon mood.
I'm actually serious.
You want to go over? All right. Do you want me to give you my real pet peeve? If you want to do this live in the air.
Does it have to do with me watching TV?
It mostly has to do with you watching TV when you are supposed to be interacting with other people. Like when you're supposed to play a game and you have a TV, you're really bad at multitasking. Or like the other night, which segue, we played a board game and you had to have TV on. What board game did we play, Drewby? I'm just trying to give you a... No, it's not background. You watch it and comment on it.
I didn't. Okay.
What game did we play? I know you may not know because we don't have the podcast notes anymore.
We played Zombicide.
Is it Zombicide or is it Zombicide?
Zombicide. According to your podcast,
we were so tired. We were so tired when we finished. I couldn't tell. I was not in the state to ask you.
You had me like an hour away from my home at like midnight, and then expected me to drive back in a safe state. Like, for reals. I mean,
I'm like super positive it was like 10 o'clock when we left.
No, it wasn't. Nope. No. I actually will argue with that. I am. Nope. I'm going to argue with that. With you on that, sir. Let me see. I can prove it.
All right. So.
Zombicide. Yeah, it was a board game that we played, and I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was a game. Sweet. I think it was a Kickstarter game. I think is what you told me.
It was a Kickstarter game. I had no idea it was a Kickstarter game until later. I was walking around Game Shop. Sorry, the Game Shop. It's a local store. You should check it out. It's in Bellevue. It's where board games are played, and there's tons of them sold there. I like to go, during if it's a date night when I get to pick where we go shopping, which I'm not trying to like throw my wife under the bus. We just sometimes go to different stores. She likes to go to Target. I like to go to the Game Shop. We look for board games that my wife and I could play together. And I was looking for something that was more complicated than your average like Ticket to Ride, but less complicated than something I would like Pathfinder or D&D. And so this game looked like it was kind of straddling a middle ground where it looked like it was kind of turn-based, grid-based strategy. And so I looked it up online, and it seemed like it was pretty simple, but also could be a lot of fun. And so I picked it up, and my wife and I were playing it, and we had some fun. So I invited Drewby to play it an hour away from his house. Are you still looking up whether it was 12 or not?
Yes. It was after 10 o'clock. We left at about 11:30 that night.
Okay, so it's definitely way closer to midnight. Still,
Yes.
I went and got a milkshake. That's what I did.
I wondered where you went. Like, I
Yep.
figured you were just hungry and you went like to go get Taco Bell or something.
I'm not fat, you idiot. No, let's go get a milkshake. Come on. We'd already eaten a huge dinner. Man.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily stop you from eating more food.
Obviously, now I know what you think about me. You think I'm some kind of pig slob.
Glutton.
Goodness, glutton.
Ugh.
Anyway, so yeah, that game was fun. So like it's like I mentioned before, you got a cityscape. Oh, nice Sour Patch Kids. So zombie side, you got this big grid, and it changes for different scenarios. There's like 10 different scenarios included in the game, and then each person plays a survivor, and you have a certain amount of actions, and your goal changes from game to game. I think the first game that we played, you just had to make it to the exit, and the second game that we played, you just had to basically kill so many zombies. And you have a certain amount of actions per turn. You can loot for weapons and stuff, and then zombies are constantly pouring in, and you're trying to kill the zombies. It's pretty simple, I think, overall, but it's also, I think it's fun. It's up to 6 players, 1 to 6 players, but you can play with 1 to 6 players, so you can play by yourself or you can play with 2 people. You just adjust the rules accordingly. You may play different amounts of survivors. I like it. I'll continue to play that with my wife, and then anybody else as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at now? Are you watching TV? Dang it, Drewby!
No, I'm not. I am on a IMDb rabbit hole I was looking at forever, and now I was trying to see if maybe there was be another season 2, but it's not going to be. So
Forever gone.
So we've updated. I don't think we've talked about this really. We've put some work and updated or you put most of it in, but we've updated the website a little bit. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's some stuff going on there. Like news stories are coming out, involving video games mainly, but as Michael gets news and stuff, he posts stuff up there. We've created a couple lists. One for movies coming out this year that we kind of care about, and another one for video games coming out this year that we care about. So you can check those out as well, and just kind of get like we have dates on there for those movies. So, and if there's a movie that is coming out this year that you're looking forward to, you can feel free to propose it to Michael and I, and maybe we'll add that to the list. But yeah, it's just there's some stuff going on there. You should if you don't visit the site regularly, you should now. There's some stuff going on.
Yeah,
there.
you can shoot that up to us at podcast@theculturemypeople.com.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been posting news stories that I think I'm trying to tailor it both to our interests and then also to the interests of the people that I know listen to the show. So if there's kind of stuff going on that you'd like us to talk about, you can email us at podcast@theculturemypeople.com or comment on the site or whatever, and I can try to tailor everything towards the groups that we like. I've been trying to keep it. I try to at least post something every day. It doesn't always happen because some days are slow news days, but yeah, cool stuff.
Yep.
One of the things I wrote about last week, and that we talked about briefly, but mostly we focused on Avengers last week, is that there's a new video game in the style. It's the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie coming out called Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah.
So that has brought me to the point where I've watched a couple videos of some of these old schooler platformers like Banjo-Kazooie. It's made me really want to play Mario 64, and then also I realized that Donkey Kong 64 is out on the Wii U Virtual Console. So is Mario 64. The thing is, listening to our sister site giantbomb.com. Hold on, Drewby's posting the Kickstarter page.
Yep.
Go ahead, show that again.
Yep.
So what it says is 48,000 backers, $2.3 million, 34 days to go. They were originally going for 270, and they got 270,000. They got 2.3 mil.
But yeah,
it's made by X-Rare, guys.
Yeah, Rare was a company that they developed platformers like Donkey Kong 64, They did Diddy Kong Racing, which is not a platformer. Banjo-Kazooie, and so they're making another platform and kind of with the idea of games with the Banjo-Kazooie in mind. I didn't really play Banjo-Kazooie, but I did love Donkey Kong 64. That's one of my like favorite childhood memories. Is that game, and so this game could be awesome.
So here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. I've been watching people like at giantbomb.com play some of these old school platformers, and one of a video game critic that I very much respect, Jeff Gershman, was pointing out that he doesn't think these games were ever that good. It was just kind of a special thing at the time. The technology was cool. He doesn't know if it's really good that this stuff is coming back, which brought me to think, were those games actually good, or was I just a kid and I didn't know any better? I have played Mario 64 a lot more recently than any of the other ones, and I think that Mario 64 is a great game, regardless of its time. Like, I really like that game. I know some of it's got to be nostalgia. I can't talk, but I don't know. You really like Donkey Kong 64. Did you like full complete that game or anything?
I did not. I got stuck in the bad guy ship. I kind of remember an idea. I bet you if I went back now, I'd be like, oh, dude, totally. This is what you're supposed to do. If I could play that game again, I would like to.
Donkey Kong 64 has a 90 Metacritic.
I wanted to come out on the 3DS, but they haven't released it there. They've released it on the Wii U.
Unfortunately, I think the fact that it's on the Wii U probably, as you kind of suspected, indicated it may not come to the 3DS now, since they've kind of done their thing.
The fact that they've gotten it at all is kind of a little surprising. Like, I kind of understand how it works with licensing, but like Microsoft bought Rare. Technically, they own the rights, to my knowledge, to Donkey Kong 64, which is kind of odd that Microsoft would own those rights.
I think actually okay, there are lots of ways this could go down. I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer.
Wait. Rare was the developer. Who was the publisher?
Nintendo.
Nintendo was the
publisher. What I think happened in this instance is, my guess is Nintendo still has the rights to continue selling this version of this game, which they're just selling an emulated version on the Wii U. My guess is they can't do an HD remake because my guess is that would encroach on the Microsoft Rare territory.
Yeah, but I mean,
depending on how that was in the past.
Doesn't the publisher have more? Like, the developer's just making the game, but like the publisher, like the one who's actually putting it out, they kind of own the game, don't they?
But it's a case by case basis. Different publishers have different rights on different games. That's it's complicated. You can do it different ways. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But either way, I thought that game was cool when I was little. I'd rented it before. I'm seriously considering playing it through on the Wii U, because you can actually I could play it on the Wii U tablet in bed when my wife is sleeping and stuff. So I've considered that, but I haven't actually made the jump yet. But that's a cool idea. I don't know. There's a game coming out that's called Splatoon on the Wii U that is looking pretty good. More and more, when I kind of look back, I'm thinking that if you are looking for games to play right now, and you already have a PC, the Wii U is probably the best console right now. Like, it's got a lot of great old games. It's got a lot of backlog. The Virtual Console has a lot of really, really, really good games. I think the Wii U is the current, like, most good games right now console. If you have a PC, that's assuming you have a PC, because there's a lot of great indie games that are getting ported to the other consoles. But if you have a PC and you can already play those, then the Wii U is kind of doing pretty well, I think.
If it wasn't for Halo, I would. That's kind of like the only draw I have towards an Xbox One, and I can't.
It's almost Halo time.
Yeah, Halo's coming up, but I'm unless something like huge happens where I come into a bunch of extra cash, I'm probably not going to have an Xbox One before Halo comes out. Although there are games that I think I would enjoy on the Wii U. So, but I mean, there's also like but that's like, I can't really even do that, because like, yeah, there's games there, but I have so many games like on my computer alone that I need to play, and then I've got. Dude,
we're video games nerds. That's never stopped us. We had those games when we bought our PS4s.
It should, yeah, but it was easier for me to justify the PS4 purchase than it would be for me to justify like an Xbox One purchase.
It seems valid that it would be easier to justify the first step into the next gen as opposed to the second jump into the next gen.
That's like the only reason I would get that would be for Halo. Like I get the Halo anniversary stuff, which is kind of working, I think, right now, and then you have the new Halo that comes out. But yeah, so I've got Bloodborne to play through. I've got Metal Gear Solid 4 to play through, and I've got.
Thank you.
Oh, there's another game. I know I've got another game. What am I?
Amanda's saying hi. Hey, say hi again so we can see.
Hi.
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda.
Sure. Need anything else?
No, thank you.
Hello,
everyone.
I know I have another game. What am I?
Do you see this? Can you see this,
called...
Drewby?
Yeah, you should roll that up and have it make a pizza roll.
What do you think? I am fat? I never eat on the podcast. Goodness, man.
Only on the video podcast. On the audio podcast, you're fine.
I usually try to make sure that none of my chewing makes it in.
Donkey Kong 64 on the Wii Virtual Console, $10. That is not a bad price for that game, I think.
No.
A lot of my and it should be noted that a lot of my praise for that game is also based on nostalgia. Like
you said that, but when I looked up the Metacritic, it had a 90 at the time, so people did definitely think it was good. Whether that holds up or not, we don't know, but it totally was good at the time. It was not just kid perception.
So, anyway, yeah, Rare made that one. So, yeah, if you have a Wii U, and
so they're making this game Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah,
we both kickstarted it.
Yes, we both
That's
supported
what we started talking about.
They're at like Michael was talking earlier. 2.3 million. If they get to 3.1 million ish, it's 2 million pounds. But if they get to 2 million pounds, then we start to get free DLC, like the backers, those who back the project. If you would like to maybe see this game, there are 34 days still left to back it. So if you'd like to, you can
also you can buy it when it comes out, probably.
Or you could do that if you don't want to back the project. There are some, like, if you put in 20 pounds, which is about $31, you could get. Oh wait, no, hold on. Is it $15? Will get you a computer version of the game. $23 will get you a console edition of the game, and that's just kind of the bare minimum. Me and Michael both went $23 on the console version, just to get that.
PS4.
So, yeah, we went with PS4. That's our next gen console. I'm a little bit in a conundrum. I think I'm not, maybe not the hugest conundrum, but I'm wondering a little bit. Batman Arkham Knight is coming out in about a little over a month. I think I'm just going to get it on the PS4, but should I even consider getting that for the computer? I don't know. I think I probably should just go and get it for the PS4.
We're at a weird point in our computer lives where our computers may not be good enough to run that as high as you want to.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought.
Remember, Arkham City was a really bad PC port where like it would crush your hardware regardless of whether it should or not.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not investing like $1,000 to get a decent graphics card right now.
And let's be completely honest, you'll probably buy it on the console, and then someday it will be $10 on PC, and you'll buy it there.
Oh, I will definitely get it on a PC at some point. Like, I was looking at my Steam collection earlier. I have Game of the Year editions for both Arkham Knight, for Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum. So to fit my collection, I should get the Game of the Year edition when it comes out for Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
So
why do gamers why are we such avid collectors? Like, why do I own all these games multiple times?
Because
in my brain, I say it's because I want to support the developer, but with games like Batman, they're not suffering.
No, it's just all right. The reason that you and I own so many games on computer is solely because of Steam sales. Like, that is the reason that we own so many, because Steam sale this game is $5. Oh, this game is $10. Oh, I might play that.
$5 we didn't need to spend.
No,
we're just crazy people.
Not at all.
Crazy people.
You and I are not like thrifty like shoppers or anything like that. Like, we don't like go shopping and like look for the sale or whatever. But when it comes to video games and the sale, they have found the sale that gets to us. Like we're like I don't think of myself necessarily as a compulsive Steam. But I did a lot. I did pretty well in the last few sales. Like I didn't buy hardly anything in the last few Steam sales.
I want to know what is the average percentage of Steam games? No, what is the average percentage of accounts where the unplayed Steam games is at least 50%?
Oh, dude. I wonder.
I want to bet it's a lot. It's most. I would bet it's over 50% of the accounts have never played half their games.
Yeah, I wonder how many games I've not even like launched. I wonder.
There's a website for that. We'll look it up later.
Okay.
There's a website. Right. Look at that. Yeah. So while we're sad, there's another game coming out. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Yeah. Did you totally pull up the show notes?
No, I've been looking. I have the website up, and it's just on the featured page.
So yes, you have show notes.
Sure. I mean, that was most of the show notes. I'll close them too if you want me to.
You didn't think Tony Hawk 5 was going to be like I was kind of not surprised when they announced it, but you like that seemed like should I have been surprised when they announced that? I don't think that I necessarily should have been.
If we hadn't already talked about rumors about it, yes, it should totally have blown your mind. Like if there had not been rumors a couple of months ago about there being a Tony Hawk 5, them saying that there was a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 should have been coming way out of left field. Because there would have been no indication that series was coming back in any way. But Tony Hawk tweeted about it semi-recently. That may be why it didn't surprise you as much, because there's no reason for them to I don't see a cultural reason for them to make a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, but since I am, on my way to becoming a pro boarder slowly, I'm so down with the fact that they're going to make a new game. Yeah, I'm super excited for this game.
I hope that do you want them to? How many Tony Hawk games did you play? Like of the old school, like Tony Hawk 1 through 4, or how many did you play?
I played none of them.
None of them. Okay.
No, I just admired them from a distance. They were rated teen, man.
Those rated T games and the blasted skateboards, the graffiti, and
yeah, man. There's blood and swearing in that music.
I played Tony Hawk 1 on the Nintendo 64. And the level styles in that game were timed. You had a beginning and you had an end of the track, and you tried to get through you would play through the same track multiple times. Some of them were that way. There was other ones that were like skate parks, and you had 2 minutes to do what you wanted to in this room, and then you could and so forth. Tony Hawk 4 was the other one game I really played a lot of, and that one was more of an open world setting where you would skate around on college campuses and do missions for people. Out of those two. There was college campus. There was there's San Francisco. There were different levels that were kind of open world environments. There was one for Alcatraz, and you do missions for different people and continue on in the progress of the campaign. Of those two styles of game designs, which would you prefer, and what would you like to see in Tony Hawk 5? Or do you have another idea in mind that's not that they haven't done before?
I, in my brain, because I've never actually played these, I just imagine them as being levels that you select that are just kind of places like skate parks, like the old school, though they're more likely to be like the new school.
Okay.
But like I said, I've never really played any of them for very long. The most I ever played of a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game was one of the Game Boy versions. Might have been Game Boy Advance, probably Game Boy Color, maybe. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 got a 10.0 from GameSpot. One of the few games on that list.
Wow. I didn't play 3. I played 3 on the Game Boy Advance. That was it. I didn't play it anywhere else. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out. That is actually coming out this year, 2015. So we will see. That could be cool. I hope that they nail kind of like a little classic nostalgia feel in that game. I think that would really help it. It would endear me more to it. And maybe my siblings I think would appreciate that as well, because we played Tony Hawk games. Like that was one of the things that we did. So this
wasn't in the old show notes that I threw away.
Oh,
but
okay.
we played a Hearthstone on video last week. If you want to check that on the site. If you don't know what Hearthstone is,
Check out the
definitely
video.
check it out.
Yeah, check out the video.
free to
If you
play.
have no idea, like, what is this Hearthstone? These kids talk. Watch the video. We explain it. Michael explains it. I just kind of play and lose.
Yeah, it's fun. It's free to play, and you should check it out. It's a cool alternative to Magic, and by Magic I don't mean witchcraft. I mean the card game. So yeah, it's good. World of Warcraft themed.
All right. One thing we probably should mention, and I forgot to mention this to you before the show, but before we close, but we talked about last week doing an Age of Ultron spoiler cast, where we were just kind of going to go over the details of the show. Are people still expect to see that, or is that kind of just on hold indefinitely?
I mean, I planned on doing it at some point. I mostly just hadn't taken the time to actually try to do it.
Okay. All right. So that might still be.
How much do people like Age of Ultron? Email us at podcast@theculturemanpeople.com.
If you want to hear our opinions on Age of Ultron in a spoilery form, then let us know, and we'll take it from there.
If I'm taking all of the people that I have talked to, if a thumbs up is it's really good and it holds up with the best of them, or a thumbs down is anything from it was the worst movie I've ever seen to it was kind of meh, it's leaning thumbs up.
Michael, does this count as a thumbs up, or is that just kind of a...
So this is an inside joke from our super site Giant Bomb. That is a not thumbs up. That is not a thumbs up. When someone tells you to do a thumbs up, put your thumb in the air. Don't try to do this. Don't do this. This is a thumbs up.
I have just got notification from someone who's watching the show, friend of the site, Jeremy, that we should do an Age of Ultron spoiler cast. So that is one thumbs up.
One vote.
That's one vote.
That's one out of 0. I'm assuming the people that are not answering are not voting, though they could be voting no. Maybe they're saying they don't want one by not voting.
Maybe. So, but with that logic, Jeremy is incredibly outnumbered.
That's true. He's also not in the chat, but he is texting you direct, which I like. I appreciate that.
He's got a direct line, the red line, the red phone.
Dude. Yeah, sure. Like from Batman. I just like that you pretend that things are like pre-existing terms that are like real, but they're not real.
Well, I was thinking more along like the president's phone, like the red phone or whatever. It's like it just like I can pick up this phone and get direct dial to so and so.
Yeah, but who does the president want to direct dial? Bono?
No,
Like,
he doesn't have to worry about direct dialing anybody. It's who has to direct dial him. Or
is that an accepted trope?
That
I mean, the president may want to call Bono. He may want a concert.
You know what?
Like Mr. Obama's like, hey.
I was probably thinking that.
I was going to make a joke that was poor.
This thing has just been lost. We should probably just move on. My intent has been lost. Man, when I bounce my legs, my camera moves. I'm going to have to stop bouncing my legs.
Yeah, because you're shaking the entire desk.
You
are a large individual.
I am.
You're like the Hulk of this podcast. I'm like the
Black Widow.
I'm like the Hawk. Sure, I'm gonna love you like a Black Widow, baby.
That's not what I was thinking, but okay. Props for taking that in a new direction.
Like a Black Widow, baby. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, Michael. I think we should wrap this up.
I was looking at the clock and I was like, well, we have 5 more minutes, which means we can start wrapping it up, or I could just bring up another story. Towerfall has an expansion out. Check it out.
Yes, it does.
I'll probably play it. It has co-op in it. The site has the news story.
Yeah, we actually even have a
I don't want to
video
waste time
on the site of people playing of Towerfall.
I didn't post that video, Drewby. It's not on our site. Don't advertise other sites. We're already going to other sites.
Where's that video? Oh, well, I'll talk about this.
It was on the PlayStation blog where I got the stuff from.
No. I'm talking about not us. Us. We have played Towerfall. Hasn't? Don't we have video of that on the site? Of us playing Towerfall? No, we don't. What am I thinking of?
No, because it's on PS4. You're thinking of Samurai Gun and Nidhogg and
Nidhogg, yeah. Okay.
lots of the other
Towerfall.
games that we
No,
played.
we do not have Towerfall on the website. Maybe
we should fix that.
Maybe we should, maybe we actually should fix that. I don't know how we'll do it, but maybe we should.
Jeremy joined the chat finally, but we're about to leave, so
Yeah.
good luck, buddy.
Goodbye.
We're about to lock you in a cage. So yeah, Drewby, how can
Well,
people
no,
find you
you
outside
are.
the show?
If you want to email me, Drewby at theculturemypeople.com, facebook.com/theculturemypeople.com. Michael, where can they email us if they want to talk to us?
You asked me this just because you know my mouth is full of pizza.
Yes, I know. No, Facebook
Podcast at theculturemypeople.com.
Oh no, okay. So he's just gonna swallow that pizza whole, or half full, however much was left in his mouth. Facebook.com/Drewby132. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Twitter.com/Drewby132.
Dang it! This is why we have podcast notes. I read like 7 comics. Whatever. Talk about it next week.
Yeah, we should talk about that next week. This podcast.
We didn't talk about Bloodborne either.
No, we didn't. This is what happens when you throw the podcast notes out the window, figuratively.
You wanted to do things unstructured. You wanted to do things off the cuff like we used to when we were babies. Professional podcasters need notes.
Maybe this is just you teaching me. I've learned my lesson, sir. Actually, no, I haven't. But
unfortunately, we had to embarrass ourselves on live internet. Now it's here for everyone to see forever.
We have an entire website that its sole purpose is just to embarrass us. There are archives on the internet of us making fools of ourselves. It's not like this is anything new.
That's my blog, not this website. I'm not that stupid on this site usually.
#usually.
Anyway, that's how you get a hold of Drewby. He said it's Google Plus, or he was going to say that his Google Plus profile is linked in his Twitter account. He says every week.
If you care.
Sorry, dude, we can't start talking about the comics. I know that I said I wanted to, but we only have 2 minutes left. He said, please. All right, so I read... hey, man, I got to do what the fans want. I read the 3 comics leading up to Planet Hulk, and then read the first episode of Planet. That stuff is kind of all common, basically, because, especially if you've seen, like, I don't want to spoil anything. They send the Hulk into space to try to get rid of him off of Earth because he's dangerous, because he's a big green rage monster. And so I'm liking where it's going. I haven't got very far. But I do like where that's going. It was weird because I thought that at the point of these comics that the Hulk was always the Hulk, but he actually can go Banner like he does in the comic briefly. I also started reading Captain Marvel. I read the first issue of that, and that was pretty good. It was mostly just a setup. She's basically going to go work on a space station alone and kind of fight stuff. There's a bunch of comics I want to read. I want to start reading Black Widow and The Punisher, and there's lots of stuff I'm going to read. So we'll talk about that more in the future, but I have started reading the Planet Hulk stuff. I also downloaded one of the... after I stopped reading Moon Knight, I downloaded the next issue after that, and that was pretty good. I'd like to know more about Moon Knight in the future. So yeah, we'll talk more about podcasts when I've read more stuff that I was less already aware of, because the Planet Hulk stuff that I read was good, but I also it was still set up, and I kind of knew that stuff. So now he's on a planet and he is a gladiator and he's fighting people, so it'll pick up a little bit, and then that will lead into the World War Hulk storyline, which I think is pretty popular, and it had tons of crossovers and all that jazz. So we'll get there. Right. But you can find me at twitter.com/MichaelNipp, MichaelNipp, and facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNipp. Drewby already mentioned, / I already mentioned that you can email us at the podcast at theculturemypeople.com. And you can check out the audio version of this podcast, which will probably have a bonus episode or bonus section that you hear or whatever you can check that out on iTunes or BeyondPod or wherever podcasts are found. There's an RSS link on the site. You can add that to whatever you like to use. If you're an iTunes user and you want to leave us 5 stars and a nice review, that's always greatly appreciated for sponsors and the like. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, we got new stuff on the website. So be checking that, following that.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, check that more often. So for hashtag follow the conversation, episode 35. Dang it, I was trying to make a callback to the beginning of the show when I was singing that song, but I couldn't remember the tune. I was thinking of a different Weezer song. This has been me, Michael Nip, and my co-host.
Drewby.